welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing a vintage cube draft. This pack has a lot of things that are kind of upper medium. There's no like giant, piece of power 9 or psychic frog or the One Ring or something like that. But fetch lands are always great. Leave the options open. Guide of Souls, a solid 1-drop that you could craft a deck around. Displacer Kitten, a combo engine you could craft a deck around. Upheaval, something you could craft a deck around. I think I want Flash though. A DAC also kind of a upper medium level thing. Bone Crusher Giant, solid 2-for-1 all day. Triomes, dual lands. Yeah, this pack is just perfectly upper medium. I think Displacer Kitten and Flash are the two that I could build a deck around the most, and Kitten might be better, but I like Flash more, and that's important to me. Oi, oi, oi. Well, somebody opened power because they passed me a Minskin Boo and a Chrome Mox. Well, I'm happy to take their Minskin Boo. This is one of those cards that breaks the mold. You can win from behind. You could slam a door shut when you're ahead. Losing the mana drain stinks a little bit when I already have a blue card, but Torsten could work with my Flash if I wheel that. I'm really looking for Worldspine Worm and Atraxa, though. Those are the good ones. But yeah, Minskin Boo directly into the pile. And passing Remand and Mana Leak to the left, after passing Displacer Kitten, we might be hooking someone into blue downstream. That's just something to be aware of as we make choices moving forward. Flooded Strand, okay. Force of Negation versus Flooded Strand, interesting. Flooded Strand is the step towards making a 3 or more color mana base work. Force of Negation is great in cube. Like, don't die and then have inevitability are kind of my two prongs when I'm drafting. If you don't get cheesed out by some BS, and then if the game grinds to a halt, who's favored? Those are the two questions I want to ask, and Force of Negation helps in not getting cheesed out. If I pass this, I'm definitely hooking someone into blue downstream. But Flooded Strand is also, like, I'm going to send a blue signal either way. I think I'm going to take the Force of Negation here. All right, Volcanic Island, which would have gone great with that Flooded Strand, but I'm definitely going to take it. Start making Minskin Boo work in this blue deck is where I want to be. Coveted Jewel, whoever has the Displacer Kitten is going to be hyped about that. Wheel of Fortune is a cool thing. Hopefully we can get someone on the hook for. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for monsters to flash in and ways to fill out this. Is it splashing Gruul or Gruul splashing blue? Commercial District, another appropriate dual land. Thassa's Oracle, not very powerful to flash that one in. Carry Zev, I'm not moved by that particularly. Expressive Iteration, that is a lot of card selection. I think I'm actually going to take EI here. Chromatic Star, 3PI, Magda. Rockran Triome is another volcanic island, basically. Copperline Gorge gets me a blue pip. I'm not worried about that. Magda is an aggressive threat that is a color fixer and ramp object. Chromatic Star is a cantripping color fixer with a bunch of artifact synergies. Third Path Iconoclast is just a solid card for the colors. I think I'm most likely to get back Iconoclast. Magda versus Star. I'm going to take Magda. Sacred Foundry, Seasoned Pyromancer, Deathrite Gem, and Phantasmal Image. I think it's Seasoned Pyromancer. Phantasmal Image is the other consideration here, but going in for Pyro. Lelia the Blade Reforged. That card is so much better than Ledger Shredder that I think I'm going to lean red on this pick, even though Shredder does cost less. And I do have a Force to support. Ooh, Upheaval got back to me. Stomping Ground and Bone Crusher Giant. I think I want Stomping Ground here. I definitely 100% want to play this Minskin Boo. And this is one of the ways to do it. Whether I end up base Gruul splashing blue, or I might just end up Gruul if a monster worth flashing in doesn't show up. Okay, Torsten on the wheel. That's a flash target. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a better low to the ground thing. I have to at least put something in the bank to flash in. Kellen versus Dr. Owner. I think the Flood Pits Drowner is better. It's just a blue card for my force, and it's a tempo object that can help Lelia connect. Burst Lightning, let's go. I've been less interested in Trumpeting Carnosaur every time I take it. I don't think I've very much considered that all season after really taking it, I won't say highly, but in the middle of last season. And another fixing land, another fixing land. Okay, I have my green splash. I have 3 sources of green for currently 1 green card. Deathrite Shaman, probably not playing that. Okay, Psychic Frog, one of the best cards that there is. Woodfall Primus is an excellent flash target, but if Torsten wheeled, I feel good about Woodfall Primus. Tolarian Academy, banger. Mystic Confluence, banger. Banger after banger after banger. Would it be massively irresponsible for me to go into Psychic Frog right now? Probably. I'm already doing 3 colors, and like other than Magda, I don't really have access to black. I don't have any passive access to black here. Yeah, this is probably going to be Mystic Confluence and hope I wheel the Woodfall Primus. This is a really strong pack. There's a chance that Primus comes back to me. Sucks to pass a frog, but it's fine. Vaultborn Tyrant is a nice flash target. Strip Mine, just a good magic card. Animate Dead, good with flash as well. Oh no, a reason to be black. After passing Psychic Frog, stings a lot. Because you can flash in something like Torsten, then Animate Dead it. Vaultborn Tyrant. Yeah, Ember's Shield Breaker, also just a solid card. Zeator's Proving Ground can start getting me into black, but I just passed the best black card. I don't think I can live in fear of that. Like, am I going to get this Proving Ground back? Do I want to be in black? Is black better? I am going to take Animate Dead. I'll leave my options open. Obviously, sucks super hard right after passing Psychic Frog, but I'm not going to give it up on pride. I really like Show and Tell that is a dovetail with Flash. Because one of the concerns, of course, is what if you put 3 giant idiots in your deck and you don't draw your Flash? Deathgrader Champion and Lightning Bolt are also great cards, though. What do I think I'm going to get back? In Burst Lightning wheeled. Are people that much lower on Burst Lightning than they are Lightning Bolt? Those cards are not that different. Okay, I think I'm going to take Show and Tell so I can take monsters with higher confidence. Miscalculation I like. Fable I like. Fable is a mana fixer and a way to loot away bad monsters or string a combo together. I would be happy with Miscalculation or Brain Surge in this deck, though. Fable's in. I'm not casting that Liliana. We've got Goldspan, Dragon, or Phyrexian Metamorph. I think it's Metamorph. The 5s are pretty replaceable. There's a lot of good stuff up here, like Bonehorde Dracosaur and Othari, Fury. Metamorph just exists in this fun middle space. Caracas Days, Battle Ball. Battle Ball you can flash in. Enduring Curiosity gives the deck some texture when it's not doing that. Caracas is just a great card. It's not a functional mana source for me, but it is pretty powerful. I've looked at Enduring Curiosity a million times this season and never gotten to actually use it. Relic of Sauron, though, is a ramp and it fixes into the black that I now just randomly have. I'm going to try Curiosity here. Bloodstained Mire. That's a gift. Okay, Bloodstained Mire. Galvanic Blast going late. Fire Ice going late. Solitude super late. I'm nowhere near Solitude. I'm taking this Bloodstained Mire. Nemesis, K-Command, Stormchaser's Talent. Do I want a 1/1 Prowess Otter? Is that useful to me? Is it better than Screaming Nemesis? Is it better than Malcolm? Malcolm can also loot away random mess, big top end stuff. All right, it's Malcolm. Woodfall Primus on the wheel. We did it, team. Fear of Missing Out would be good in my deck, but I have this flash. I want to have a couple options for it. Zeator's Proving Ground on the wheel. Just picking them up left and right here. The Ember Shield Breaker, I think is a great card, but I took that black card. Let's do it. Hey, look at this. Deathgrader Champion also on the wheel. That thing gets the game over. I think my lane is open. Nobody has seemed interested in big monsters or mid-range red cards. Lightning Bolt and obviously Psychic Frog did not come back around, though. Make my little combo pile over here. Brain Surge. Do I like Brain Surge better than Karn Scion? Probably. I want to be able to support Force of Negation, and I want to put combos together. Brain Surge does that better than Karn does. I don't need a generic way to spend 4 mana. I can spend 4 mana just fine. Goldspan Dragon came back to me. Battle Ball came back to me. And this thing goes in my sideboard. All right, still looking for that Worldspine Worm or Atraxa, one of the real premium flash targets, but the package is here. Itali is one of the premium flash targets. Necromancy is another Animate Dead. Itali is the one I could cast. Battle Ball is castable. Battle Ball and Itali are about the same castability-wise in my deck. Liner Scarlet is a card that I love and works with the mid-range part of my deck. But given that Death Greater Champion came around, I got this Fable really late, I think Headliner is safe for me. Grim Monolith, obviously a good card. Tishana's Tidebinder, a good card. But I'm going to take Itali. There's Fury. Like I said, these top-end red threats are a dime a dozen. Probably not playing Mind Stone. Sink into Stupor is nice that it's a land that supports Force of Negation. I think I take Fury here, though. It's just so good against anyone with a creature in their deck. You can even flash it in a pinch. Ooh, Sneak Attack, let's go. Dovetails, Sneak and Show deck coming together. I was excited about this Jace for a second, but it's Sneak Attack, and I would actually love to wield this Raucous Theater. That one's really good for me, too. Now I am fearless in slamming monsters in my deck with 3 ways to use them. Fiery Confluence is a game ender. Ulamog works with 2 of my 3 enablers, but at this point I got those. Let's freaking kill people with our mid-range red cards too. So this is it Sneak and Show with a small black and small green splash. Badlands helps the splash. Oliphant helps the splash, maybe better. Which do I think I'm more likely to get back, I guess is the question. People have not seemed interested in red cards. I think I'm going to let the Oliphant take a spin. I don't have a lot of reanimation, just the 1. And that package gets a lot tighter if I have Badlands already. Yeah, I'll take Badlands. And I have plenty of playables. It's not like I'm desperate for an Oliphant to make my deck function here. I have good mana. I have a deck full of cards I would not be embarrassed to cast. Inti and Othari. Inti is a looter. The way that he loots, though, is kind of not ideal for my strategy, though. This is a bottle. You discard a card, then you can bottle a card. And bottling Torsten, I cannot use that in any way. Not ideal, but it is a low drop that helps me move cards around. There's Othari, another one of these red 5 drops. I like Othari a lot, I just don't have white mana in my deck. It's the only color I'm not playing. I'll take Inti out of this pack. Chain Lightning, Carnage Interpreter. I'm not playing Gush. Hedge Maze is a blue land that gets me Minskin Boo. That's not better than Chain Lightning. Through the Breach, my goodness. Alright, well, the whole deck is here for me. Is Through the Breach actually better than Chandra? My 4th monster enabler versus another insane planeswalker to just tap mana and put into play. And there's Bonehorde Dracosaur as well. Every single card I said would get to me if I wanted a red 5 drop has gotten to me. But here's this red 5 drop. Chandra stands on her own better, but I haven't had a fully committed every single piece of the puzzle combo deck in a long time. I'm interested in that. Bitter Triumph can enable the Animate Dead, but this is a bigger commitment to black when I might just not even play the Animate Dead that I have. Lawspur Boots. Most of my stuff has haste anyway. Blackleaf Cliffs. I think I want Fireball probably in the sideboard in case I need more removal against a strategy. Sink into Stupor came back. I like that. I'm not really supporting a Born Oculus, and that's the only other choice. Spyglass Siren, Soul Guide Lantern, Galvanic Discharge. A map doesn't help me. If this made a Blood, I would be kind of interested in it, but I think I'm just going to put Soul Guide Lantern in my sideboard for the matchups where that's important. And there's my boy Ulamog. Do I need a 5th Chungus, or should I take Night's Whisper here? That's a pretty good Chungus, though. Alright, yeah, I'll take it. Grease Wrench Goblin. I'm not really in a spot to use Yogwill. This is another looter. It'll probably be in my sideboard, but I'll take it. And then nobody's playing Rain of Filth. I'll take that Nissa. And Exploration. The sad last pick of the draft, Exploration. That's a viable first pick when it's early and you can make a plan around it. But when it shows up in the middle of pack 3, it's like, I already have a deck. And there was a fast bond in this draft too. Whoever took the fast bond was not even interested in the exploration. I wonder if that's just tucked in somebody's sideboard. Looks like once again, this Enduring Curiosity is not going to make the deck. I'm just going to make some trims. All right, cool. We're in deck build. I've already trimmed a couple of the lower impact things now that I'm a whole ass combo deck. Flash, Show and Tell, Sneak through the Breach. 4 of my 5 monsters work with Flash. They all work with the other 3. This is 29 cards if I remove the lands. Bloodstainmire can get Commercial District and Stomping Ground. I don't think I need Copperline Gorge. That's just a land that risks coming into play tapped in a deck that doesn't need it. I have 4 green sources for 1 green card. Yeah, I'd rather play a basic mountain than Copperline Gorge at that point. And Gorge doesn't even come into play untapped on turn 4, which is when I would want to be trying to peel the green source to rip Minskin Boo. I think I'm going to leave all 9 of the monsters and enablers in the deck. I could min-max and try to play just enough of these that they would line up statistically often enough to have an eject button in my otherwise mid-range deck, or I can just max out and try to make this happen as often as possible. I think that's where I want to be. Metamorph is not going to make the cut. I don't think I need Goldspan Dragon in this deck. My card selection, I have EI, Brain Surge, CZ Peasy, Fable, Malcolm, Inti, Lelia. That's a lot of that. Brain Surge is probably the worst of it because it doesn't impact the board, but it is blue for force, which I can board it in if my opponent's a combo deck. Death Raider Champion, sweet. That kind of hits like a truck through a sneak attack even. It basically lets me dash it for 1 mana instead of 4, and that's a lot of damage as a surprise. I think Pyromancer is kind of landing in the spot where I'd rather have Lelia on an empty board. I'd rather have Fable versus either of those at all times. I like the Flood Pits Drowner and the 2 burn spells. That just keeps me alive long enough to get this other stuff going. I could just cut the Animate Dead and all the black now that we're this good at what we're doing. When I took this, it was the beginning of Pack 2, and I only had Flash at that point, and then I've had Show and Tell, Sneak Attack, and Through the Breach since then. But Animate does let me loot with Malcolm, Inti, and Fable past the monsters and still have something to do with them. No, I like that gear in the deck. I think upon review, it has to be Ulamog to get the cut. That's the one that doesn't work with Flash or Animate Dead. It's the worst of the monsters for synergy reasons, and just another monster feels like too much here. I'm not playing a Plains or a Swamp. I don't want a Forest either. Yeah, my basics are going to be just Izzet. All of my non-basic lands are red. Only one of them's blue, so I'm going to index for blue on my basic count. Okay, a respectable mid-range Izzet deck with multiple win-the-game buttons I can smash. I'm into it. Let's go. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next-day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round number 1 with only 1 land and all of the top end in my deck. Gonna mulligan this. Okay, I got a whole plan right here. I'm gonna keep and bottom Mountain. I could have bottomed Malcolm and kept the 4 lands, but instead I'm going to use Malcolm to trust that the 4 lands will show up. Playing against a Swamp deck. Ooh, okay, well that is the 4th land, but this is also the turn I want to play Malcolm. If I can draw out some interaction on Malcolm and get my sneak attack in better, that's exciting to me. Malcolm, Show and Tell. I could just Atali right now. How about that shit? Is there anything that grants haste? Alright, I'm just going to cast Show and Tell. New plan. And if they have Force of Will for this, okay. They cut down Malcolm. All right. Here comes 3 spells. I hope they're better than whatever my opponent puts in here. Archon of Cruelty is pretty fucking good, though. All right, so I'm going to lose my sneak attack. Well, that sucks. All right, something better. Something better than Archon. Him to Turok and Fury. Those are not better. Target you with him. Cast Fury for no reason. Okay. Well, that is the risk of show and tell. They had a monster better than my Atali. And I am going to get completely soloed by that. Overlord Animate Dead. Alright. So they are Reanimator. The deck that always beats me when I cube. Soul Guide Lantern coming in. And I do have some green to turn on Deathrite Shaman, but I don't think I actually want to do that. And I think I actually have to board out Show and Tell. If they have shit like that in their deck, I still have Flash, Sneak, and Through the Breach, any one of which would be better and safer. Phyrexian Metamorph gives me an out to a big Reanimator as well. And maybe something like Chain Lightning or Burst Lightning is not where I want to be. Drowner buys me time. Force Negation is going to be good here. Maybe it's Fury. I don't want to pitch Fury and put that in my graveyard where they can reanimate it. Is it remotely reasonable to support this Deathrite Shaman? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands that support it. And green is the color that's important. I could board in this Copperline Gorge over a mountain and become a Deathrite Shaman gamer. What does that look like? Gotta find one cut now. Burst Lightning is probably the cut if I do this. Okay, let's try it. I love losing to my own spells. Okay, I will keep this. I have to be careful with the Inti though, because knowing that putting Battle Ball in my graveyard, they could reanimate it. I don't actually want Sink into Stupor. I want combo payoffs here, or Graveyard Hate. But Deathrite Shaman would work beautifully if I draw it here, so that sideboard gambit at least paying off. Spar is HQ, with the old 5-color Reanimator over there. Well, that card rules. I'll play Inti. Urborg, okay, they're back to just 2 colors. We know Hymnotrox in their deck. That will... Okay, they play Dam instead. Reasonable. The Doctor. Hey, this... Oh, with Urborg in play, I don't need to think about black sources anymore. I was about to say Bloodstained Mire is my second blue, but it's also my only black. But it can't be both. Lelia the Blade Reforged. That card rules. I guess I'll send it. We've seen Cut Down in their deck. Trigger. Alright, flip to land. Perfect. Perfect Lelia value. Okay, so now is the turn where they need to do something. If they have Entomb Reanimate or Loot Reanimate of any kind, they could quickly take over. But once I untap with this Confluence and Lelia chugging away, it's a problem for them. Baleful Mastery. Full retail. You got it. Ooh. I can hit you with a Battle Ball right now. How's that sound? Sounds pretty good. I'm actually going to fetch the Volcanic Island here, just to minimize lands I could draw. And Sneak Attack. This is not lethal. I have to think about that, because if they reanimate my Battle Sphere, this is a hit for 12. Oh, I have Confluence, though. I'll just bounce it, and then it's mine again, to Sneak Attack again. Perfect. All right. We've got a plan. Sneak. Battle Ball. Move to combat. Attack. I would like to tap all my mirrors. Okay, they go to 5, which means the card Reanimate doesn't work anymore. Animate Dead still plays pretty well, but if they Animate Dead this, and they don't make me discard cards first, they're in trouble. Talisman of Dominance doesn't help. Phantasmal Image copying a mirror. Sweet. If that's where they are, we're probably okay. I can actually sneak in Flood Pit's Drowner, kill the mirror token, and still have a Confluence. Yeah, when that's targeted, it dies. And this is an attack for 6. Okay, sweet. Just had to combo first and not combo for them. Now they know that's a gear I have, and I know they have a clone in their deck, so parking a big monster in play is a concern, but luckily all the things that I still have in my deck don't leave the monster in play. Okay, let's go. Same deck. This is the plan. 3 mana, Sneak Attack. I'm in. Shields are mostly completely down. If I draw Soul Guide Lantern, I'll feel like I can never lose this game. Something like Thoughtseize Reanimate kills me, though. So saying I can never lose is always a little reckless. Oh, you have Ancestral Recall in your deck, too. Nice. And I was worried already. Well, we know why there's all that blue mana now. Commercial District. Mystic Confluence. I'll keep it. The game might not go that long, but if it does, I'm not worried about much after that. Blue-black. Just land go for me. Hope they live in fear of mana leak and remand and all of the things that I do not actually have. Alright, well, I'm slamming Fable. I think that's better than leaving up Sink into Stupor. This is the type of thing that they'll probably answer if they can. 4 mana, Kaito, Hardcast. They can stun my Goblin, or they can Surveil too. My Goblin is stunned. Stunted. Fiery Confluence, interesting. I think I actually just don't want to discard any cards here. Yeah, I'm gonna just put Sneak Attack into play and pass. This is a clear declaration of I'm gonna do something messed up next turn, but it is difficult for them to interact with in blue-black. And if they bounce it, I can replay it and activate it next turn. They surveilled away a land. They have 2 more surveils plus a draw this turn. I could thread together some reanimate shit, but I can beat reanimate shit from this board. Oh, they surveilled before attacking. Just don't want to draw a card, it seems. They bend, ephemerate, and cut down. Yeah, those aren't useful versus sneak attack. I agree. Here's the attack. Are there other ninjas in the cube? Oh, if they like ninjutsu Kaito into Fallen Shinobi, I'd be so impressed. That didn't happen. Okay, game time, kids. I can activate this once while holding up Sink into Stupor, or activate it twice. I think I'm going to activate it, putting in a Tali first, and then make decisions. Itali, Ledger Shredder, and Through the Breach. Okay. If I stack this correctly, no, I will have cast both spells. Casting both spells is part of the trigger. Okay. So, cast Through the Breach and cast Ledger Shredder in that order, I guess. This lets me leave up mana for Sink into Stupor as I Torsten them. Bang. And if Torsten hits a creature, I can sneak it in. I get all the creatures and lands here. Here's this Copperline Gorge coming into play tapped in a spot where it actually matters a lot. So this is 14 damage right now. I could make it lethal, but it taps me out of interacting. I can make it lethal anytime. I don't have to do it now. Okay, I'm just going to attack with the 2 creatures I have. Attack my opponent's life points. They're at 6. I'll play Proving Ground. Torsten and Itali will die. And I get 7 1/1s. And I can interact with a spell next turn. If they animate my Itali, I can bounce it. And obviously, like going for lethal there, it was there, but they have up white and blue mana. Those are the instant speed removal colors. If Copperline Gorge was basic mountain, I would have gone for it this turn, with Sink into Stupor still up. So, funny enough, that Deathrite Shaman sideboard package may have cost me here. They've got a lot to overcome, though. Even if they do reanimate my Itali, there's 7 1/1s, an active sneak attack, and a reflection of Kiki Jiki on the board. Surveil 2. Dump 2 lands. 7 cards in their hand. Urborg. Okay, they are animating my Itali. I'm going to let this happen because they could just replay the animate, and I'd rather bounce Itali. And let's see what the trigger gives. They hit my animate dead and their exhume. Oh, that's tough. Okay, I think I'm going to Sink into Stupor my animate dead when they cast it. I don't want them having Torsten. A Ledger Shredder. Okay, so they did cast Exhume. Ledger Shredder triggers. I can put a creature in the graveyard that I'll get. Oh my god. Phyrexian Metamorph in the graveyard. Now Exhume resolves, I'll get Natali. Sink into Stupor, bounce my animate dead. And then Exhume will get them nothing and me in Natali. Or a Torsten. Why even cast the Exhume? There's nothing in your graveyard. Fascinating. Okay, sweet. All right, I won the game for them with my spell in the blind in game 1, and then was able to make some sideboard pivots and just have a better, more reliable combo than them in the other games. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 1 with a hand that is kind of weak, but it has Lelia to do stuff in the mid-range, and if I draw Show and Tell or Flash, I'm in business. And my deck is full of other cards. My deck's also full of top-end monsters, which I'm now good on. Maybe they'll cast Show and Tell. Alright. Deck did not hear me say I'm good on these. Maybe they'll cast Show and Tell. Orcish Bowmaster. Alright, well, I'm not going to draw many cards. Not a thing my deck does a lot of. There's a little bit with my looting. I hope I don't get Time Twisted right now. Alright, well, 3 Swamps don't cast Time Twister. Got that going for me. Bowmaster beats. And it's my turn again. I'll play Lelia the Blade Reforged. And I will attack just to get some stats on Lelia, even though there's nothing in my deck I could cast here. Just don't exile my Flash. Okay, Seator's Proving Ground. I will not miss. Didn't want that shit anyway. Okay, untap Green Source gets me Minsc Boo going. Any of the combo enablers in my deck get that part going. Toxic Deluge for 3. All right, killing their own Bowmaster and my Lelia. That worked out pretty well. And blue mana revealed. Okay, untap Green Source is the nuts here. Or a Show and Tell, sneak attack. Fable will take it. That can loot away my shitters. I don't need 3 of these. Even if I do loot into a payoff, I don't need all of them. And the treasure can cast Minsc Boo next turn. Palantir of Orthonk. Okay, that could be a reanimation enabler. Do I want them to draw a card, or do I want them to... They want bottom. You're not going to draw a card. This is a random mill. All right, Swamp to the graveyard. I took 0. We did it, team. You know what else we did? We drew a Green Source. I can actually cast Minsc Boo this turn, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could start casting Italis and Torstens next turn. I think the upside of looting away one of these monsters is not worth the downside of them reanimating in that same monster. Stomping Ground, Minsc Boo. Okay, they didn't have Spell Pierce. Get my little bunny buddy in the zone. Hamsters and bunnies are the same thing, right? The Rat Boy. Hashtag Rat Boy beats. If I can win game 1 without them seeing that I have the combo angle in my deck, that would be pretty exciting. Faithless Looting. Okay, so they may yet reanimate something here. 2 mountains. All right, we're not getting reanimated. Whatever their draw was, it did not work out. The Bone Zone. All right, so they could Bowmaster or Lelia here. Bowmaster is more blockers if they want to try to survive that long, but it's not very good. Yeah, Lelia. Okay. And they're not attacking. They're using that on defense. I actually am going to let them draw a card this time. I don't want to get high rolled by Emrakul or some bullshit. Yes, you can draw a card. They top that Scry. Chain Lightning. That is what this is in the deck for. It's killing people, right? This is a 4/4. I can cast a 7-drop right now. All right, I will reveal that I have some bigger stuff in my deck to make sure I win this combat. Because if they remand here or mana leak, then I get the combat going. All right, cool. I gave up a little bit there. I think we're going to see the same sideboard plan. It's Reanimator again. We've got Soul Guide, Metamorph, Deathrite, Green Source. Saw a little more going on the low end out of this deck. We saw the Bone Zone and Orcish Bowmaster at least. I'm still not interested in getting a Fury reanimated on me, so that one's out. What did I do last time? I think I cut Burst Lightning, but I like Burst Lightning here against this opponent more than I liked it against the last one. I could cut Death Greeter Champion if I want to focus on comboing. Maybe it is just Chain Lightning. All right, let's go. I was out of cards I didn't like. Oh, good. It's both of my black cards with no black mana. All right, I'll mulligan this. Hell yeah. Okay, keep. And I'm going to bottom... I think it's Island. No, what color do I need to fetch? It's Mountain, because I have a bunch of Stomping Grounds in my deck. Bunch of Taigas. Mana Vault. Okay. I hope I get to destroy that with Woodfall Primus before they make mana out of it. Hey, I was just going to fetch for that. Commercial District. Volcanic Island. I'll leave that on top to cast Minsc Boo if this Primus isn't good enough. Which, now that my opponent has 5 mana on turn 2, might not be. Fear of missing out. That is still a creature, even though it has a non-creature creature type, or card type as well. Dumped Kolagon's command. Yeah, I'm just gonna main phase this homie. It will enter, destroy a non-creature permanent, and then persist back, destroy another one, and just be a 5/5. I think that's better than trying to catch them in combat. Flash, Primus, can't pay the difference. I'm gonna destroy Mana Vault and Blood Crypt. You're back, Blood Crypt's dead. I did almost give them Delirium with this sequence, though. Reckless stuff. And Flash is sweet. I love casting that card. Unban it in Legacy. Let us have it back. That's not a serious plea. Don't ever do that. Overlord of the Bale Merc. They found Troll of Khazad-dûm off of that. Well, lands are coming, but they're going to take some beats in the meantime. And Minsc and Boo is on suspend in my hand. They don't know he's there, but I do. The Confluence. Oh, I'll attack for 5 first. That shit's happening. They somehow do not have Delirium, despite all the cards in their graveyard. A Volcanic Island, Inti. Probably should have left a blue up, so they have to think about Spell Pierce. I don't know if they're in a position to really think about anything, though. That's an important thing about bluffs. It doesn't help to bluff if your opponent can't play around what you're bluffing. Like, if your opponent is at 5 and you have a 5/5, leaving up a blue is not going to make them not cast a blocker. They have to, or they're dead. Alright, Seasoned Pyromancer. Good chance this will result in Delirium. It'd be weird if it didn't. Bowmaster and Troll discarded. They have Delirium. They can attack me for 4 now. Oh, not interested. They could have attacked me for 2 and leave the blocker back. Alright. Weird. Okay. I guess I'm just going to slam Minsc and Boo and try to make the game over. It's kind of what this card does. Just makes the game over. And they don't even want to go through combat or try to block or anything. Cool. A quick victory again against a Animator adjacent strategy. On to the final trophy round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in the final trophy round. I am going to I have the low end of my deck all at the same time for once. That's nice. I'll need a land before this hand really works, but I play enough of them. I'm not worried about that. There's one now. I'm going to play around Wasteland and not play this Valk. Jetmir's Garden. We're looking for that green source on time. Wrenn and 6. Alright, well, I can't kill that with what I have. And they have the fetch land to go with it. Just playing Modern over there. Must be nice. Sneak attack. That is a plan. I'm going to play Volcanic Island and pass and hope to all gods you believe in that they don't have Wasteland. Scalding Tart's not Wasteland. We did it. I would love it if they just played some mid-range chunker here that Flood Pit Strounder can lock down, then Deathgreater Champion can bash through. Or I could just get Fable going in the face of Moxjet. Cool. Pay to win. Pay to win. The Lingus. Uh-oh. Alright, well. They're gonna get the initiative, but I'm gonna get it back. Or the Monarch, whatever the fuck this is. You know what I meant. Alright, end of turn. Dr. Owner. Stun one of these. And then attack my opponent's life points directly to get the Monarchy. And now I have this cool ability to Chain Lightning their other creature. And I drew Malcolm to play on curve. Chain Lightning this one. And then Shock in, Sink into Stupor. I could also just zoot away this Knight. I don't think I'm worried about the Knight, though. I could draw a card and make a decision. Alright, cool. That is a green source eventually for Minsc and Boo. Not on the time frame I was hoping for, but it's fine. They would need another haste creature here with Trample to take the Monarchy back. Yeah, pinging the owner, that's fine. Got owned. We knew that was going to happen. Deck full of X1s over here. X1 theme deck. If I can back up onto Malcolm, then it won't die to Wrenn and 6. Archive, rather than the Scalding Tarn from hand. So we know one of the 6 cards in hand, 5 unknowns. That's so many cards. Where did they come from? Arwen, Mortal Queen. 2/2 indestructible. Can remove the indestructible counter, put a +1 counter and lifelink counter on a creature and Arwen, and that creature gains indestructible. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of stats. Malcolm, go get it. Make it happen. Untap green, we did it. Okay. Minsk and Boo can show up here, both of them. My opponent can clear Minsk and Boo and take the Monarch back, though. Is this how I want to play? I could also sneak attack in Deathgreeter Champion. Does that do anything? I could just play sneak attack this turn. I could attack for 1, play Fable. I could not attack and play Fable. I don't think not attacking is an option. The question is, what am I attacking? I could just cast Deathgreeter Champion and then hit Wrenn and 6 for 6 damage here. I could cast Deathgreeter. Yeah, backing up Deathgreeter doesn't matter because they have this indestructible blocker. I could cast Deathgreeter, hit them for 6. Interesting. And just try to tempo through this. Oh, but this gives a lifelink counter. Yeah, this is 6 lifelink on the backswing. That is not going to work. I think I have to combo them out. So, deals combat damage to a player. All right, well, I don't get to loot if I don't attack their face. So I'm going to attack their face. And I drew an island. Is Island better than Zeotor's Proving Ground? Proving Ground. If my plan is to play Fable this turn, then I'd rather have Proving Ground. All right, I'm discarding this Island. And then I'll play Fable, Proving Ground, and try to go off next turn. This gives me the mana to play and activate Sneak Attack at once, and I'm going to see 4 cards before that matters. Show and tell. All right, monsters, show up. I got plenty of enablers for you. They get the Monarchy back here. They could kill Malcolm with Wrenn if they want to do that. Yep, there it goes. Last turn was really interesting. I had so many choices. Basically, every card in my hand was live to be cast. Yeah, R1 is one of these cards in the cube that I basically never play with because I'm trying to do something more interesting than normal combat. However, she is really good at normal combat. Like berserk good. +1 and lifelink on both of the creatures. Crazy. All right, you're the Monarch. I'm looking for Itali. I'm looking for Battle Ball. Selling Myco Spawn. Please don't have Strip Mine, I guess. Field of the Dead. Cool. Okay, we see where their deck's going. And it is a coherent strategy, I regret to inform you. Guy's Cradle from hand. Oh my god. They're not even done casting spells. Ramanap Excavator. Alright, I'm about to be ground out if I don't make something big happen right now. I'm going to discard... Is Sneak Attack even good enough? Do I have to have a sticky monster to show and tell? I'm definitely discarding Mountain. And I have green for... Oh wait, no. I'm discarding Scalding Tarn, or Stomping Ground, not Mountain. Because I have green up Proving Ground. I think I dumped the show and tell. Okay. Okay. My opponent tapped out of Arwen. Fiery Confluence can just wrath the board here. They are still the Monarch, but yeah, they don't have 1 up to do this. This is actually gross. Okay. 3 creatures. Oh, Arwen's actually just indestructible, right? I forgot about that. But it's fine. That's still most of the creatures gone. And I don't think Itali was necessarily beating their whole board, but taking some of that down is nice. Right, yeah, just indestructible at base. I still like Itali's chances better versus Arwen straight up than everything. Wasteland, hate that. Glad I took out the Ramanap though, but I am now in a lock versus Wrenn and 6. Okay, now I kind of need to draw a land for this to work in any capacity. They have 7 damage on board right now, so even like doing this over 2 turns doesn't matter. Nadu. This is part of your deck too. Cool. Mountain. All right, I'll take an island. All right, well, this is what we get. Sneak attack and hope that this wins. Put in Itali, Primal Conqueror, and let me see some busted cards. Fury and Scythecat Cub. Okay. Fury, Scythecat Cub. And Nadu's pretty good versus Fury. Cub, Fury. Do I even target the Nadu? do I want them to get the flip? Because Arwen can activate, I guess forcing the issue on Arwen, but that makes Nadu indestructible and lifelink until end of turn. They can get 2 Nadu triggers off that anyway. Am I just dead? Is the important question. Is there something clever to do by like targeting just the zombie token? No, because they can absorb Itali together anyway. What if I target Arwen? If she loses indestructible, she'll die. But does that even matter? I'll go after Ren at 6. Okay, there is a target on the board that doesn't make me make that decision. And then they can decide if they want to use their Arwen bubble now to not take any damage, which does make some sense to do, because they would also lose the Monarch. They could even end up flipping more zombies into play right now if they use it now. Oh, wait, I still don't know what Arwen actually does. Arwen always gets the second counter. They can't put a counter on zombie plus Nadu. Okay, never mind. They did flip another zombie into play though. The full nuts. Oh, the triple block. Not necessary. All right, I will kill the zombies then. I get an extra zombie for the road here. Okay, well, I am at 3 on the board, and they have 2 lifelink creatures. I can copy Fury with Reflection next turn, or copy Deathgreater Champion after sneaking it in. I have a lot of damage on my board if they don't actually make me dead, kill my stuff, or like lock me out somehow here. And they're in a great position, but I'm just saying, I have the puncher's chance. If they sack to Rising Canopy to draw a card. If they waste Proving Ground, Minsc and Boo is off the table, which would be quite the bummer, because a fling would get me some extra damage that I may desperately need. And of course, they went after the Tri-Land. That is clearly the correct play if you have a Wasteland you're not using for anything else. Findhorn Elves. I'm dead in 2 hits from Nadu, even if nothing else happens here, and they're still tapping mana. Soul Cauldron, yikes. Reclaimer. Okay, Nadu is attacking. They go to 20, I go to 3. Let's see if I can find a cheese mode to get out of this. That helps. I'm not gonna lie. That is a good one. Okay. These things don't have reach. Okay, I am going to activate Sneak Attack. Put in Woodfall Primus. And I'm going to target Agatha's Soul Cauldron and make them do this now if they're doing it. Okay, so they're targeting Itali. I cannot put 5 damage on Nadu this turn, unfortunately. They're putting it on their Zombo. That's good. That lets me cook a little bit. I mean, the Field of the Dead sucks, though. I can kill a couple of their creatures, but the Field of the Dead... Maybe I was supposed to kill Field of the Dead with that first Woodfall Primus. I could do it now. But this won't... Or this will have haste. Yeah, okay. Trample is better than Double Strike on this board, so I'm going to copy Woodfall Primus in response and kill Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead is destroyed. No more surprise zombies in combat. They hit Sylvan Caryatid. Zombie becomes 3/3. And if I attack with all of my creatures right now, does it matter if they know which one has Double Strike? Not really, because most of them have Trample. 4 blockers, because I can have the extra 4 damage in play. So 6, 12, this is going to get blocked. 14 Trample. The lifelink creature eats the Scythecat Cub for free if I'm not careful. But the lifelink creature is an easy block on the Scythecat Cub, which if I give that +1 and Double Strike, tramples over for 3. I think I just need the big ones to do the trampling. Yeah, this 3/3 lifelink causing trouble. All right, I'm going to attack with my 2 Primuses and Fury and hope that my opponent makes a mistake. Lifelinker in front of Fury. You will not gain life for that. Yeah, if this is going to die anyway, they should actually block the other one. Oh, that's the only block? Oh my god. Alright, well, before damage, Sneak Attack. Back up onto Woodfall Primus. Are they dead? They need a trick. They're exactly dead if they do nothing here. Oh my god. All those creatures are not interested in blocking. Whoa. Okay, so I'm not trying to rip on my opponent here, but they have a lethal flyer. All they need to do is attack with Nadu one more time. Thinking about this turn in terms of like, I better protect my Finhorn elves. Like, what is that going to do? What is this 3/3 zombie going to do against my board? Like, you have the lethal attacker, just don't die. Okay. Wow. All right, that was fun. Okay, stole a game there. And I believe this is actually a matchup where I want to full send my combo as hard as possible. And the little nickel and dime shit that I've been boarding into in all the other matchups is pretty bad. And if I can foretell a fireball, that's pretty good against a lot of what we saw. We saw Wasteland, Ren and 6 get a little strip lock going, ramming up Excavator in the mix. An Exploration or a Fast Bond would make sense for their deck to have. Delayed Blast Fireball can also clear out any number of zombie tokens if it needs to do that. Any number of 4th Arrow Lingus tokens. Wow, that actually has a lot of utility here. The Fletbridge Drowner was good at taking the Monarch, but that's just some shit that ties to Ren and 6. And maybe I bored out this Force Negation that I was so into in the draft and built my deck thinking about blue cards and never drew or looked at, and I'm now boarding out in the trophy round. Tough beat for Force Negation. Maybe you should have done more, you idiot. We cut losers. They don't stay in the deck. Okay, here we go. If there's a game 3, I will reconsider my options on the Enduring Curiosity. Like, maybe this is a matchup for that one, but it seems like my opponent has a fair engine that will beat most fair engines, and I want to be unfair. Yeah, I'm missing black. I have my other 3 colors. But lucky for me, I'm holding my only black card. Confluence. Deathbreeder Champion. I will keep that. That is that cheese that gets games over. That's how I won last game. Through that and a combination of my opponent not accounting for everything. Kept their card with Archive. Mox Jet. Nadu. There's that thing. Deathbreeder Champion. I'm going to play my island and pass. This is not a turn where I use Expressive Iteration. I want to be able to hit a land off it. Springheart Nantuko, nasty. Flipped Shifting Woodlands. All right, they've got a plan here. Real deck alert, look out. Gaia's Cradle. In for 4. Chain Lightning, I don't think so. EI, I'm looking for a land and a spell I want to play. Or I want to hold. Okay. So Sneak Attack to my hand. Island to the bottom, Exile Mountain. That was the full value. And I could Chain Lightning this insect, but I don't want them flipping cards. I think I want to Chain Lightning their face, actually. I would have had to go to cleanup and discard anyway. So let's reduce their life total, because that is what this is going to come down to. I am ultimately a deck trying to deal 20 damage. Just a guy in the world trying to deal 20 damage. A Field of Ruin makes a bug. Token theme deck. I have one Sweeper in my hand, and I boarded in another one. Nothing to do with the Sneak Attack at the moment. I could just play Deathbreeder Champion, but that's so boring. I could play Sneak Attack. I don't like just hanging it out there, though. I could Confluence, deal 1 to everything and 4 to my opponent. I think that's what I'm going to do here. 1 to each creature, 2 to each opponent twice. Right, this is mana down for Gaia's Cradle. This is damage off the board for me. Putting them to 12 is now double strike with all Primus territory. Malevolent Rumble. Arwen, Lush Portico, Sentinels. Probably Arwen here. That is Nadu Trigger and Lifelink on the board when I've done a bunch of points of burn already. Oh wow, they took Sentinel. Fascinating. I mean, that's also Nadu Triggers, but it's not Lifelink, which is what I was worried about. There's Sentinel. Mapping onto Nadu. Hit Ren and 6. They cannot cast that with the mana I can see. Oh no, Ren and 6 flipped into their hand from Nadu, and now the map sees Elvish Reclaimer. That is the sequence. And Shifting Woodland, they do have Delirium. That can become a Marshflats, Lush Portico, Arwen, or Elvish Reclaimer. Okay, Torsten is a lot of blocking. Volcanic Island and Sneak Attack. I will try to hit them with Torsten here and dig for the win next turn. Italy, Fury, and Battle Ball. All right, well, they're very dead next turn. And I don't think it's worth it to Fury anything this turn because of Nadu. They just need one more power on Nadu to win the game, though. Or cast the Ren in 6. I'm close to death here. They just need one more power somewhere. But I have 7 1/1s on the ground to block with. Man, your life total goes away so fast when you're getting hit with a 4/5 flyer the entire game. Torsten, get in. And I will simply hope that they cannot put one power onto Nadu. Yeah, Torsten does not trample, just big. Okay, 7 1/1s. Fingers crossed. Don't have red mana. Don't have a +1 counter. Arwen enters with an indestructible counter. Copying it with Woodland would not grant the +1 counter. That's not how that works. There's nothing with trample in their graveyard. Soul Cauldron. All right, now I lose. They found the line. All right, I mean, that was tight. Target something other than Nadu, maybe? Nope. They figured it out. All right, loot the Pathfinder. All right, came down to 1 turn, and my opponent has Mox Jet in their deck. That Mox was the difference between winning and losing for me. Okay, I'm on the play now. And do I want Enduring Curiosity? Do I want to meet them on that battlefield? Not really. The Lightnings don't look very good, though. Maybe I do want Curiosity. I don't think Metamorph is where I want to be. And Floodpipes Drowner is the one thing I have that could tempo through a Nadu. I'm trying to combo. Let's go. Okay, keep. And is weak to Wasteland, but what else is new? Proving Ground Pass. Blood Crypt. Fable. Okay. Now I have a real big hit if I can find a land in my top 2 cards. And my Animate Dead is extremely online right now. I have the black. I have the discard outlet. I haven't really seen removal from them yet. Ren in 6. Ha! A mighty 2/2. Nice card. What is that even for? Okay, attack. Ren in 6. I'll discard Battle Ball. Love to flip a land here. We did it. Okay, everything's working the way it's supposed to. Bloodstained Mire gets Volcanic Island. Play Fable. Curving out. Can't stop me now. It's got to get to this through the breach, and we're done. Inti does trigger when I discard 1 or more cards. So if I discard a card to Fable, Inti will flip an extra card this turn. I'll make that decision when we get to my main phase. As it stands, I don't think I would discard any cards to Fable. I guess Fireball is depending on what they do this turn. A 2/3. All right, well, I'm not going to Fireball that. Draw for turn. Island, I like. Do I want to discard the Fireball? I could also save Fireball to discard in combat. Yeah, I'm just going to leave these cards here. And I will attack with both. Do I care about Ren in 6? I guess is the question. Now I'm going to start working on my opponent. I'll discard Fireball. Target Goblin. All right, flip the land. Glad I held my land. That's why I did that. And now I can Italy at instant speed if that feels necessary. I'd obviously rather attack with it. Oh, they just conceded. Yeah, they saw the writing on the wall. Nice, we did it. Finally claimed a trophy this season. And I am going on vacation tomorrow at the time of this recording. So the season will be long over when I get back. This is actually the last cube draft I'm doing this season. No power 9. Who needs it? Pack 1, pick 1, flash. Make a plan around it. I did draft this draft in a way that made me happy in a couple spots rather than the card that I thought was necessarily objectively the best. Like if it was the Cube Draft Pro Tour top 8, my deck would not quite look like this. But I love a flash. I love being able to go busted. I love the mid-range red things like Fable and Lelia that gain advantage over time. Minsk and Boo, obviously one of the top non-power cards in the entire cube. Happy to have that. Deck worked out. We had some tight games, and we just needed an opponent to make one mistake in one key spot, and they did. We'll take it. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you like this cube content in the comments. That's how you see more of it. I'll see you next time.